Welcome to Disc Golf for Everyone. I'm Jay, and today I'm going to show you a pretty simple setup to measure the velocity of your drives at home, just if you'd like a ballpark of how fast you're throwing the disc. I wanted that, so I set this up. It seemed to work pretty well, and I thought I'd share it with you guys. So to do this, I simply set up two PVC pipes propped up vertically, and they're exactly 5 feet apart. And then I'm throwing into a canvas drop cloth in my driveway so I don't have to go fetch discs or anything. Looking at it from a top-down point of view, you'll see I've got the PVC pipes, they're 5 feet apart, got the canvas drop cloth I'm throwing into, and then the camera is over on the side, the other side of the driveway. And I'm going to throw that disc in front of the PVC pipes. I'm going to keep it pretty close to the pipes, and I'll tell you why here in just a moment. So before I get there though, the camera should be as far from the pipes as possible. That's to minimize the angle of the view from the camera to each of the pipes, because that sort of distorts how far it looks like your disc is actually traveling. If the PVC pipes are 5 feet apart and then you're throwing in front of them, and let's say you're 2 feet away when you throw, the disc is traveling 2 feet away from those pipes, then instead of traveling 5 feet as it looks like it's traveling between the pipes from the camera, you're actually only throwing it, it's actually traveling only about 4.5 feet. So we'll factor that into our math. You don't have to worry about it. Just know that there's a little bit of a change based on the perspective. So to measure the speed of your drives, take a video as you drive the disc in front of those PVC pipes and into your drop cloth. You're then going to count the number of frames it takes for the disc to pass in front of the pipes, and you can convert that into miles per hour with some math. So here it is. I've shot a video. I've thrown about a couple feet off those pipes. My camera's about 20 feet away. And then I go back and I review the video, and I can count those frames as the disc moves between the pipes. And we'll see the math in a second that allows me to directly turn that into miles per hour. First though, I'm going to slow it down even further so you can see how easy it is to count. There's like 1 frame, 2 frames, 3 frames. And you're just going to count those frames. This is a pretty slow throw. This would be kind of low 50 miles an hour, something like that, 53, somewhere right in there, based on the number of frames it took. So let's look at the specifics of the simple formula you'll need and how we get to it. So first off, you need to shoot at a very high frame rate for this technique to work. I use my iPhone's 240 frames per second slow motion setting. And then to convert the number of frames to miles per hour, well, first of all, miles per hour is simply the number of miles traveled divided by the number of hours it took. A mile is 5,280 feet. So 5 feet is a tiny, tiny portion of a mile you see written there. But really, based on me throwing about 2 feet away from the PVC pipes, the camera being about 20 feet away, if you look at the angles, I'm actually, measuring the time it takes for it to travel about 4.5 feet, which is 0.000852227 miles. So we're going to use that as the number of miles traveled, and now we have to calculate how long it took to travel that far, and we can get miles per hour. So the frames per second on my camera is set to 240. Now 1 hour equals 3,600 seconds. So the hours it takes for the disc to travel in front of the PVC pipes equals the frames divided by that 240 frames per second times the 3,600 seconds in an hour. And so the hours it takes for the disc to travel equals the number of frames divided by 864,000. You don't have to actually keep track of all that. You don't have to know all that. I'm just going to give you a final formula to allow you to use at home. So when we put all this together, we get the miles per hour equals that number of miles, 0.000852227, divided by the number of frames divided by 864,000. And you do a little math, you switch things around, and you get that the miles per hour equals 736.36, but rounding to 736 is fine, divided by the number of frames it takes. So hopefully that's a lot easier than all that math, and we can use that going forward. So to summarize, at 240 frames per second of video, and at a 5-foot measured distance, although the reality is we know it's only traveling about 4.5 feet, due to the camera angles, because we've got the camera about 20 feet away, then the speed in miles per hour of your throw is that 736 divided by the number of frames it takes. And I just put together a little chart. I've got a spreadsheet. It's a lot bigger than this. This is just a snapshot of the portion relevant to most of my throws. I've discovered using this technique that I tend to throw in, if I'm throwing very relaxed, I'm throwing in the mid 50s. It's taking about a little less than 13 and a half frames to go between the pipes. And if I'm throwing as hard as I can actually get it up there to where it takes around 11 and a half frames a second. Kind of the mid 60s is my best throw right now. So that's great to know. So thanks for watching the video. Hope that helps you measure the velocity of your own throws at home. Please hit subscribe to the channel, like on the video, and let's grow the sport together.